What's up, guys? I got the pencil here, and let's chat about Pokemon Sword and Shield. So, y'all remember, I was on a Pokemon Kick a while back, and I did the ranking of the Pokemon antagonists, and like y'all saw in that video that Chairman Rose didn't rank too high. He didn't rank very well at all. And here's the thing, Gen 8's not gonna rank that well either. But we're not ranking the generations. We're just talking about Pokemon Sword and Shield. We're chatting about it, and we're being real about Pokemon Sword and Shield. It is something that disappoints me in a strange way, because like I can't say I was an original fan of Pokemon. I hopped in around like Gen 4, like Pokemon Diamond. That was my first ever Pokemon game, and then the first ever game I really completed and sunk all my time into was Pokemon Black and White, specifically Pokemon White because Zekrom the GOAT. And I spent so much time with that game. Then I got Pokemon Black and White 2. I sunk so much time into that game. I got both X and Y when they ended up coming out. I was so hyped. First 3D Pokemon game. It was in the moment, it was amazing to me. I even got Sun and Moon, but then something happened to me when I hit like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and like I haven't like this miasma that's formed around Pokemon for me ever since Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon hasn't left me yet, even with the release of Sword and Shield. And it's worrying me because it's like, how am I feeling about Pokemon? What's happening to me? Because like I used to love Pokemon. I used to be able to sink hours into it, and I still can sink hours into competitive, like building my own teams, going on showdowns, stuff like that. Doing all the stuff like that I can still do, but playing the games themselves, I feel like I've lost something. And I think Sword and Shield exemplifies that so much. And here's the thing, I do have some issues, like, you know, the cut decks. It bothered me at first. The graphics, they bothered me. A lot of things about the game just bothered me. To address the cut decks first, I didn't really mind. It finally gave me an excuse to actually complete the Pokedex, because I'll admit, even all the way back in Gen 4 and Gen 5, like there were so many Pokemon at that point with so many specific ways you had to go get them that I never ended up completing the decks. So only having 400 Pokemon in the decks finally gave me enough incentive to go around. I literally got a friend and made sure they got the opposite version. I got Shield, they got Sword. We made sure to get all the Pokemon for each other. We both got the shiny charm. But then instantly put the game down after that. Well, I did some competitive training, and then going on to the graphics situation, like I'm disappointed. But here's the thing, here's why I'm disappointed. Breath of the Wild came out 2 years ago, and Breath of the Wild on Wii U looks more beautiful than Sword and Shield does on the Nintendo Switch, and that's a problem. That is a problem I can not necessarily forgive Game Freak for, because here's the thing, Pokemon is one of Nintendo's cash cows. It's the biggest thing ever. Not the biggest thing ever, because you have your Marios, you have your Legend of Zeldas, but for a game that, for one of Nintendo's IPs that has so much importance and history and legacy behind it, it is Pokemon. So if anything, Pokemon should have been one of the pioneers, because like I'll give Legend of Zelda, I'll give Fire Emblem, I'll give Mario all credit. Their debut games on the Switch revolutionized, in one way or another, revolutionized their series. For Legend of Zelda, voice acting for the first time in the Zelda game, an open world. It was completely different kind of world, completely different Zelda game, so different that most people don't even consider it really a true Zelda game. Then for Mario, you had Mario Odyssey, and while it was a return to form, it was in such a different way that so many people loved it, because it was a different remix on it, and it was something we hadn't seen in a while due to all the new Super Mario Bros. U's and all the Mario 3D worlds. It was a collectathon, and we hadn't done that in forever. And then we have what ended up being Fire Emblem's remix, Fire Emblem Three Houses. It was a game that has a lot of different aspects put into it. Sure, it's a continuation of the more modern era Fire Emblem, but it was different. Multiple routes in one game instead of splitting the game in half for like Fire Emblem Fates and Fire Emblem Conquest. Fire Emblem Birthright and Fire Emblem Conquest. It was all that content packed in one game. Like, and as I've said, I put over 100 hours in that game, and I'm only through one route. That game has so much content packed in it, and has so many different characters. It's revolutionized the series. Once again, voice acting in a Fire Emblem game on a main home console, because there was voice acting in Shadows of Valentia, I do believe. But all that, amazing, revolutionary. What did Pokemon do? It cut down, and like cut down in every aspect. Cut down the decks, cut down the graphics, and I just gotta ask why. Like, y'all really had the chance to make the jump from consoles. Like, this is biggest deal for Pokemon ever, because all the main Pokemon games were always on handhelds from the start to Gen 7. All of them were on handhelds, and I don't know why that milestone, that big impact, that massive effect that Gen 8 showed Splash, and it honestly should have been the best Pokemon game, hands down. There should have been no competition. There shouldn't be people being like, well, if you look at it this way, it's actually really, really good. No, there shouldn't be look at it this way. It should be they took their time, they put a whole lot of effort into it, and bada bing, bada boom, we have one of the best Pokemon games ever made. But we didn't get that, and my question is why? Why was that what we got? Why didn't we get something better? Because honestly, it should have just gotten the time and respect that it deserved. Because think about it, Game Freak is the Pokemon company. Like, by definition, they're not the same thing, but Game Freak is Pokemon. That's what they're known for. Game Freak did not have to make Let's Go. Game Freak, if they had poured all that time and effort into Sword and Shield, I bet the game would be twice the quality production-wise. I feel like we'd have a full Dex off rip. And here's the thing about the Dex situation as well. I do think DLC was planned before the release of this game. And I think since they knew they wanted the money and they knew that people would get mad, they did cut out some of the Dex. Because, as you can tell, there isn't really... See, I'm jumping all over the place, but this is why it's a Let's Chat. I have like general ideas that I want to discuss, but I don't really have any specific order. So let me just hop to the region of Galar itself. It's a straight line. It's a straight line through an entire region, and I don't mind that. Fully, because Pokemon games are always mostly linear. Even Gen 5, my favorite game, my favorite generation of the entire series, is basically just a big old circle. But I felt like I was literally just being pushed along, especially since the entire back half of the region is just nothing. Like, there's nothing in the entire back half of the region except for the Slumbering World. Even then, you go there twice in this, I think, no, 3 or 4 times in the story. One in the beginning, twice towards the end, third time in the post game where you finally go to get the legendary, and then one more time to go battle Hop. That's really it. That's the entire back half of the region. Then, of course, you have the front half of the region, which is loaded with, like, I guess a decent amount of content, but the towns themselves, it's weird to say, they have very little identity. And I do think, like, the music in this game, as always, Pokemon, is kind of a bop. Like, you be vibing to some of the music, but, like, there are no Driftwell cities, there are no Nimbasa cities, there are no Snow Points, there's no, like, Anastasia cities. There's none of these cities that you remember distinctly. And I'm, like, trying to think, because, no, this is the most recent Pokemon game I played. I can name, like, that's the thing. This game, despite being really, really a landmark, leaves such a little mark on my memory. Like, I completed the game and I was done with it. And that was it, because the region felt so linear. The region felt like it had nothing to do afterwards, and I guess that's what justifies the DLC. Like, oh, you want to go expand your adventure for the low price of $30? And I'll tell you straight up, I didn't buy the DLC yet. I may buy it in the future if the Frozen Tundra turns out to be anything interesting. But now I'm just like, I don't have a point to. There's nothing I can get from this. And then let's just addressing the region and how jank I believe it is, because it's just back half nothing, front half everything. Can we talk about the wild area and how, like, disappointing it is? Because I feel bad whenever I think of the wild area, because it's such an interesting concept. Because what I've always wanted is, like, a Breath of the Wild-ish Pokemon game where you're basically in the anime, where you're going around and just Pokemon can pop up at complete random, not just in tall grass, not just blah blah blah, but, like, you can be strolling down the street through a desert, and suddenly a Tyranitar is just strolling down the path, like, yo, what's good? And then you can run or fight it or do whatever. I want something like that. The wild area is the start of that. It's like the baby concept of something like that, but it's not enough. Like, you gotta build. You have to build. And the thing that bothers me a lot about the wild area is that it constantly One, it looks bland, but you know, bah ha ha, wow, what a unique criticism for Sword and Shield. It looks bland, but I wish that the wild area just felt more wild. Like, is it me, or in Let's Go did more mons spawn and they stay on screen longer? Like, I felt like despite not having a wild area, all the routes in Let's Go had this more like lively feel to them. The wild area always, no matter what part you are from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, feels dead. Like, I feel like there's nothing really wild about that area, and that bothers me because like it was such an interesting concept when I first heard about it, but it didn't live up to its hype, just like Sword and Shield in general. And I do believe like this only affected me once, because once I learned the lesson, I just got mad and never did it again. The fact that when you're earlier on in the game and you can logistically challenge Pokemon that are like, oh no, this Pokemon is a really high level, this is a really strong Pokemon, the fact that you can't catch it in that moment really, really, really annoys me. And I specifically have that because I went into the game totally blind, as I try to do with all the games I'm interested in. If I hear about a game that I want to play, I'm just like, well, I'm gonna shut myself off from the internet and just avoid everything about it so I can have my own unique experience to it. And it was a Diggersby. I really wanted to catch a Diggersby, and I had my whole team was like a third of its level, but I didn't care. I was wearing down that Diggersby, and I was gonna throw a Pokeball at it, even if I lost, even if I whited out. I don't care, because I wanted something from the game. Because as I got through the game, there was really nothing that I was feeling. I was feeling nothing, which is weird and whack. I'll get to the story in a second. But then when I went to go finally throw the Pokeball, it was in red health. It was completely low. It was perfect time to launch a Pokeball to, you can't throw a Pokeball because the mon's too strong. And I was just like, huh? Like, wait, hold on, bro. You're kidding me, right? Like, you're not actually withholding this Pokemon from me after I did all this work, bro, right? And then the game was just like, oh no, we're withholding this Pokemon. Yeah, you know all that time you wasted, all those potions? Yeah, you don't get those back. And I was like, you really trying to insult me right now? Like, you really trying to annoy me? And the game was just like, oh yeah, we are. And I just had to hold it. And like, stupid factor, if wild area or something like the wild area ever comes back, don't do that. Never do that. Never withhold options because you don't think that the player can't do it. That's why I love things like Breath of the Wild. Because if you think you can do it, 9 out of 10 times in Breath of the Wild, you can go do it. I love stuff like that, and not even just Breath of the Wild. In games in general, if you even allude to the idea of the player being able to do something, they should be allowed to do it. I know that's very hard to program, it's very hard to think about, it's very hard to work around, but if you take time and put effort into your game, and you can do that. It can be done. Look at Mario Odyssey. Look at Breath of the Wild. Look at all of these games that are on the very same system that Pokemon Sword and Shield is on, that allows you options and doesn't restrict a player unless absolutely necessary. It's not that hard. Just let me do what I want to do. Gosh darn it. But there's that, and let me hop to the story. Speaking of Hop, I think Hop's an okay rival. I think he's actually a pretty solid rival. A lot of people don't like that you battle him so much. Same reasons they like don't like that you battle Chera and Bianca and so much in Gen 5. But personally, I kind of like it because I know like, oh, it removes all the mystique of them being a rival. But like, I don't know, when I have a rivalry with someone, I want to constantly test myself against them. I want to constantly throw myself up against a wall. Like, that's the thing. Whenever you have a rival, you're just like, well, I want to try. I went and got better for a bit. Let me come back and fight you again. So I understand all their philosophies on that. And I like how Hop has this little progression of going through, wow, Bede absolutely sweat my entire team. This kind of hurts, bro. And then he grew up and came to understand that, you know what, I can do this. Every time I get knocked down, I still can't get back up. I am Hop the Hop, younger brother, the undefeatable champion, and I will walk the walk. Like, I like that. It's a simple character story, but the way Hop does it, it's really, really nice. Bede, whack. Like, I don't know. Bede just whack. Marnie, whack. Not whack, but wasted potential. I don't know. Like, I felt like for all the hype that she got as a character, definitely just wasn't worth it. Leon, maybe if he didn't constantly hype himself up so much and not get swept by one mon, I would have been fine with him. But Actually, no. Here's the thing. I like how Leon's integrated story-wise into the region. I like how he is the champion, and being champion, it comes with all these extra duties like protecting the region, all the stuff like that, working prosperity. It gives me a taste of what you have in Gen 5, where the leaders, the powerful Pokemon trainers, are aspects of the world, very big aspects of the world, and Leon is sort of like the army. He's like a protector for the entire region alongside being a sports guy. It's a really interesting twist on the champion. I like it a lot. It's just that I feel like he overhypes himself too much. Actually, wait, no, I didn't sweep him with my whole team. I swept every gym leader and the entire tournament with my whole team. I'll admit, because I was playing super recklessly and did not set up against Leon, I did go down to the last Pokemon, so that was nice, I guess. Who else is in the story? Gym leaders that are mostly forgettable. They have really good designs. Like, I like every single gym leader's design, but personality-wise, like, I don't really have much from them. Story-wise, there's not much from them. I remember Milo, Kabu, and Nessa, they all reach you before you go off into, like, the next wild area, because, you know, no one apparently ever beats all three of them and then moves on, so that's nice. That's the one thing I'll give the gym leaders, but that's really it. Like, nothing really came of them story-wise. Chairman Rose, y'all already know my opinion on him. I think he's whack. I think the entire idea that it wasn't just Eternatus breaking free after all these years of, like, recovering itself, I feel like forcing in a human villain at the last second, not the best of moves. Like, and the thing is, I guess it's not the last second because they were so obvious that he was evil as soon as the intro, so it was like, it was mainly just a waste of time, waste of a character, waste of anything interesting. Oleana, I mean, loosely interesting backstory, but that's really it, and you have to search for that. That's the thing, like, there isn't much to talk about. And and all y'all saying, like, Piers is the best Pokemon character, y'all need to stop, because N is right there, and he's looking at you with a Zekrom at his back. But that's the thing. And here's where I hit my problem. I completed the decks. I went and fought Leon in the battle tower until I couldn't fight Leon no more. Double battle, single battle, I did all that. I even did a little bit of competitive battling online, but after that, I just put the game down. I'm just like, I have nothing else to do. Like, I don't feel like replaying this game. Like, and I guess you could just say, like, bro, you're growing up out of Pokemon. But then I'm just like, okay, then why am I not growing up out of Zelda? Why am I not growing up out of Mario? Why am I not growing up out of things like Fire Emblem? Any of these other childhood games? Why am I not growing up out of Dragon Ball? I still love Dragon Ball FighterZ. Why am I enjoying myself so much in all these other games, but I'm not enjoying myself in Pokemon? And I think the answer to that question is, I feel like there's a certain degree of passion that Pokemon's honestly been missing since, like, I'd say Gen 6. And I know that's weird to say, like, yo, what about Gen 7? I do believe Gen 7 has decent story, decent characters, and stuff like that. Actually, you know, I'll say Gen 7. I'll say Gen 8 is really where it started to fall. Because, like, I feel like they're making Pokemon games because Pokemon makes money, and not because they're interested in making a game that has, like, a world, something that you can dive and sink your teeth into, what kind of backstory that you can learn about. And it's not necessary. And the thing is, oh, I forgot to mention Sonya. Sonya is also okay. Like, if you couldn't tell she was gonna be the professor from RIP, I don't know what to tell you. But my thing is, I just felt like there was so little put into Sword and Shield, and then not just graphically, not just Pokemon wise, not just everything wise, but I felt like it was made because you need a Gen 8 for the Nintendo Switch because it's the newest console and the 3DS is dead. That was the only reason this game was made. It wasn't made to revolutionize a series like Breath of the Wild. It wasn't made to bring back something that people have been missing for years, like Mario Odyssey. It wasn't trying to expand on a newer formula that was developed games prior and trying to fix problems that people complained about in the past, like with Three Houses. It's not even trying to be a faithful adaptation of something that was, like Dragon Ball FighterZ. Like, there's no passion I can feel in Sword and Shield. And I guess when I don't feel any passion put into anything, when I feel like it was made to be made, I don't want to pour my time and money into it. I guess that's why I didn't buy the DLC, because I just didn't feel like there was anything there for me to buy into. There was nothing for me to feel. And I know that's like, wow, that's a really arbitrary, strange argument to put up like that. And you're right. Is it my most objective of arguments with deep, faceted reasoning? No. But as a boy who sunk like 200 plus hours in Pokemon Black and White, and then probably 200 more in Black and White 2, and then who knows how long in this X and Y collectively in Diamond and all those games before, I just felt something there that doesn't happen in Sword and Shield. I don't feel anything as I sit there and I go through, and it's sad. Like, I want to give Pokemon a chance, I really, really do. But if Gen 9 or whatever Sword and Shield sequels come out, or whatever, even if a Diamond Pearl remake comes out, which everyone wants, if I look at it and I can see something is missing, if I can feel that something is missing, if I can tell that they're making it a little bit more bare bones so DLC can come in and fix up so they can make more profit, then I'm not buying it. And I know it's bad. It's just like, well, if you stop buying it, then it's gonna stop supporting the company, and then they won't make money, and then they'll fall out. But I don't believe that. I'm one person, and even if my video reaches a million people, which is not likely at all, even if a million people didn't buy the next Pokemon game, thousands of children across the world will. No, not thousands, millions of children across the world will. Their parents will get it. Other fans that are willing to put up with what the series is producing right now will go get it. And I'm happy for them. I'm proud that people are able to enjoy this series that I love so much, but I can't enjoy it anymore. And that means I can't contribute to it anymore, because I feel like it doesn't deserve it. And I know people put hours upon hours into Sword and Shield. I know every single designer was probably worked to their limit to produce a game, and I can never ever understand the amount of time and stress and sweat and tears went into producing that. But as much respect as I can give to that, I cannot give it my time. I cannot give it my money when I have other things that a whole ton of other people poured their love, sweat, and tears and soul into, that I can go get time to. So yeah, I'm most likely not going to pick up Sword and Shield again. I rarely will ever play it. And you'll probably catch me on Fire Emblem. Maybe some Smash. Maybe a little bit. Who knows? Maybe even low-key catch me going back to Breath of the Wild with my 250 plus hours in that game. But Pokemon, not it, dog. Not it. It's got real somber. If I had to talk about the Pokemon introduced in this region, I went with an all-new Pokemon team. Like, I didn't want any of the previous generation, despite how hard they were pushing it. I don't know how many new mons were introduced in this game. I like a lot of them. I don't think there are very few misses in this generation. Like, I don't like Duraludon at all. Duraludon makes me uncomfortable, especially when it opens its mouth. So that's like the only glaring miss that comes to mind. But also, it's just, this game is so saturated with the older Pokemon that I just barely remember any of the new ones. I guess Sandaconda is also a bit weird. It's just a snake. It's a snake wrapped up in a coil. But that's really it. And like, I guess you can see my problem. I've grown dispassionate when it comes to discussing this, and like, I could let some righteous fury come through and consume me and be like, blah blah blah, I feel unjustified, like this is my series and I want it to be perfect and exactly how I want it. But people are happy. If y'all are happy playing the game, then that's great. If you like it, I love it. But me personally, it'll fade. It'll fade just as it has. Like, I will go back and play Bakugan Battle Brawlers 5 times more before I go replay Sword and Shield, because I can tell there's something put into that game that Sword and Shield doesn't have. And while people may love it, then that's fantastic. People may hate it. Well, that's how they feel. And there may be people like me who've just grown indifferent and then just don't want to dedicate their time to it, and that's fine too. That's the thing. Like, Pokemon means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and I can never ever quantify all the various interpretations and meanings and understandings that it has to certain people. So I've just done my best to give you mine. I'm like, I just loved it for years, and it's slowly realizing that I've fallen out of love with it. And it's sad, but it's true, and there's really nothing more I can do. Okay, I guess that's it for this Let's Chat. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for sitting here and just listening to me discuss this. If you have any opinions on Pokemon Sword and Shield in the comment section down below, please tell me. I always want to hear. I love discussing this game, despite how much I don't love the game itself. It's because there are so many different, various opinions out there on it. So I feel like it'd be fun to hear you guys talk about it down in the comment section below. Please go ahead down there. Please like it, like the video. It always helps. And please, if you're new around here, or if you've seen my content before and you just happen to come back again, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Always helps. And thank you guys so much for watching once again. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. And this is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off.